I was gonna do the deal. Is what when Ross put the MMG thing on the table.
Yeah. I got you.
That was just the terms and the way, you know, Ross set up the conversation to start in that building. It was a great opportunity. It was a great situation. I just had a concern with my team getting credit for breaking Nipsey Hussle. So I didn't necessarily want to take that from my team. You know what I'm saying? Everything he done said, he done done. Every combo we had, every time I sent a verse, he executed it. So I got a lot of respect for Rose. So I'd have done it off just GP, but I got a team I committed to ahead of time.
Damn.
And I needed to make sure they got the credit for what they did. You know what I mean? That was the only reason. But outside of that, all the other deals, they lacked what the MMG offered, included because it was somebody that understood why Nipsey is valuable without a radio record.
No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, you know, we was at Cassie's birthday.
And Nip had no ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. You know, I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, you know what I mean, like your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
So it turns out
Nipsey Hussle turned down Rick Ross's Maybach Music Group offer, it wasn't about ego or pride. It was loyalty. Nip admired Ross deeply, respected his business mind, and recognized the opportunity on the table. Yet, he couldn't ignore one thing, the people who helped build his name. He wanted his crew to get credit for breaking him into the game, not some label taking the glory. Ross's offer stood out because he saw Nip's value beyond the charts. He recognized a visionary who didn't need a hit single to prove worth, but Nipsey still said no.
Like I said, my goal was to create a situation where I could walk into one of these majors and operate as a partner.
Right.
And even since my early stuff, I never really was just an artist. I always bought my equipment from day one. I sold my Lincoln, sold my Rolex, sold my jewelry, left my dope spot, turned it into a studio, bought equipment. My brother matched me, my homeboy bought my Lincoln from me, brought me a trash bag full of cash, bought my rims, my Alpinas. I sold all the things I was functioning off of, took all my money, and my brother matched me, and we went to Sam Ash and we bought all the equipment when I was 19. When I was 18, actually.
His loyalty to his circle outweighed even the most tempting deal. Things took a turn when Lauren London brought Nip into Diddy's orbit. That introduction seemed harmless at first, but fans later viewed it as the beginning of a dangerous connection, one that blurred personal and professional lines in ways no one expected. Diddy claimed he mentored Nip, guiding him through business and real estate lessons, even becoming an executive producer on Victory Lap. But for many, that connection raised suspicions, especially given how closely Nip's final album mirrored Biggie's life after death.
So, you know, as I was educated in music, that's what the production company does. You know, that's what the label do. I was paying for rent. I was a hustler. I wasn't thinking I was the executive. I was just like, if I want to rap, I need a studio, I need equipment. I gotta. But we was making these moves already as a production company or as an executive or as a label to facilitate me as an artist. So the money was coming from my brother, from myself. The decisions was coming from my team, myself. The posters was being stapled up by us. You know, the radio promo, we was going up there and buying the radio spots. We was booking out the House of Blues. We was doing all the things that a label do. So once I got educated to the way that the deals get structured, it would be disrespectful for us to expect anything other than a partnership, because we've been had sweat equity, we've been had money invested.
Yes, sir.
We've been operating as not only the creative but also the administrative. So it would be against the grain of reality to go into a situation outside of that.
labels like Def Jam, Capitol, even Atlantic at one point didn't see the value. They passed on him, but instead of folding, Nip doubled down on himself, building leverage until they had no choice but to respect him.
Atlantic, you already know they tradition. They make household names.
Yeah, man.
And they've been successful doing that for years.
But being so successful on your own.
Right.
That's why when I saw this announcement, I was like, man.
Yeah.
Like Nip didn't just walk in there.
Nah, we've been trying to land on the terms that we landed on for some years.
Yeah.
So it just was about me raising my leverage and my profile to where I could really justify what I was asking for.
Yeah.
And you know, I respect that. Like if I come in here and make a request, You gotta, and they, you know, the answer is like, you ain't worth that shit. You gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go get it.
It's possible, but you gotta work for
Sometimes
that.
you gotta show and tell people your worth too.
dope.
Did Atlantic Pack, they passed on you or earlier, right?
Yeah, I said Drake passed, Def Jam, Capital Atlantic too. Thought that I'd be dead of doing life because what I rap is true. So I was just talking about all the labels that I walked in them buildings and played music before I, you know, like I said, had value. And some of them felt it, some of them didn't get it, but I just was referencing taking those meetings and how that felt.
A project that released right after tragedy struck. Industry insiders like Gene Deal called Nip's request for that same life after death vibe a dangerous move, one that might have carried spiritual consequences. The eerie parallels left fans wondering if history had, in some way, repeated itself. From the very start, Nip's dream wasn't to be signed, it was to partner. He sold everything he owned, from jewelry to cars, to invest in his own studio, building all money in with the same crew that had his back since day one. He learned early that independence meant ownership. Nip and his team were already functioning like a label.
You know what I'm saying? Everything he done said, he done every combo we had, every time I sent a verse, he executed it. So I got a lot of respect for Rose. So I'd have done it off just GP.
Funding, promoting, and distributing their work without outside help. They stapled their own posters, bought their own radio slots, and ran the business from the ground up. Major labels like Atlantic and Def Jam saw Nip's brilliance too late. They passed on him, failing to grasp his vision. But instead of begging for approval, he doubled down, elevating his brand until those same labels had to recognize his power. That MMG deal could have changed everything, but Nip chose to stay true. Loyalty came first.
I was gonna do the deal. Is what when Ross put the MMG thing on the table.
Yeah, I got you.
That was just the terms and the way, you know, Ross set up the conversation to start in that building. It was a great opportunity. It was a great situation. I just had a concern with my team getting credit for breaking Nipsey Hussle. So I didn't necessarily want to take that from my team.
Damn.
I got a team I committed to ahead of time.
Damn.
And I needed to make sure they got the credit for what they did. You know what I mean? That was the only reason.
Not fame or fast money. Some say that choice painted a target on his back, threatening powerful interests who couldn't control him. In the end, Nipsey Hussle's independence wasn't just a business stance. It was a revolution, and revolutions make enemies. Fans still debate whether loyalty cost him his life or cemented his legend, but one thing's certain, his story isn't over yet.